there, welcome to Off Duty. I'm Wendy Bounds. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. You watched a little baseball maybe, had a barbecue. Now, I'm standing outside my boss Julie's office and she's been on vacation for a really long time. This is prime real estate. I just don't think it should sit empty anymore. Do you? This is pretty nice. I can get used to this. You got the TV, you've got the big clock, the whiteboard, the desk. Guess I should do a little work while I'm here. Order up some stories. Let's try Lee Hawkins. He's over at the auto show. Hey, Lee. No, it's not Julie, it's Wendy. Yeah, I need you to cover something for us at the auto show. I'm thinking something big, something luxury. No, not a double-decker bus. The Spice Girls already did that. Jaguar's good. Try that. Thanks, Lee. See if the Mets are playing.
I'm here with Dr. Ralph Speth, who is the CEO of Jaguar Land Rover. The Defender is a concept for Land Rover, which is obviously a statement in itself because you continue to think highly of the SUV market. Tell me about this one.
Now, the Defender is an icon. At the moment, we don't sell the Defender in the US.
Right.
Here in New York, we are showing one of the theoretical alternatives for the new icon Defender. It's a vehicle born in the rough area, coming out of the farmers, coming out of really utilitarian issues, always with aluminium technology, lightweight technology. And with this kind of lightweight technology, we are also quite sure that we will achieve the full consumption which is necessary in the modern world.
Okay, and also, let's take a look over here at the Evoque, which is a Range Rover concept. This is a very sleek, more compact version of the Range Rover. What are you trying to accomplish with that? What kind of statement are you trying to make with this one?
The Evoque, which is in the market since the mid of last year, is defining a total new concept in the market. And it's a new concept for the urban area. It's a smaller concept, it's a slimmer concept, and nevertheless has the credibility and the capability of a Range Rover.
What gives you the confidence that consumers will want a convertible SUV?
I think it fits really nicely together. SUV means off-road, outside, seeing the nature, feeling the nature, breathing it. And you can do it even better with an open concept.
I mean, really, when you take the roof off, providing you get the torsional rigidity back into the vehicle, because most of the strength generally in the car is in the roof, and you've got the right roll bars at the back behind the seats, you know, in a roll situation, the occupants will be protected. So providing you do that in the right way, remember this is a concept, we'd make sure that if we did decide to put it into production, it had that level of security. I mean, this type of vehicle, you know, convertibles resonate anyway. They love the idea of a convertible car, wind in the hair, sense of adventure and freedom. And actually for a convertible, this is relatively high at the back because Evoque has got a very dramatic waistline. Generally convertibles tend to be much lower at the back where the rear occupants are exposed more.
And when you look at this vehicle, it's really looks to be also kind of a performance element, the tires here.
Well, I mean, it's a very sporting vehicle, a very dramatic sort of waistline, short overhangs, wheel at each corner. Yeah, I mean, with Evoque generally, it probably is the most designed Range Rover ever. It's deliberately, overtly sporty.
This is working out quite nicely. Maybe I'll assign a few more stories. How about heels? Let me think. How do you design a comfortable heel? Let's get Christina Binkley on that. In the meantime, I'll have a cup of coffee. Oh, my coffee cup is empty. Who is done with the noon show? That's Harlan Reinhart. Harlan!
Only if I can have a raise.
A good pair of heels, like many a masterpiece, starts with a sketch. This one started with a number 2 pencil and a sheet of copy paper in the hands of Francesco Russo, designer of Sergio Rossi shoes. He had an idea and turned it into leather and steel.
I start to put on paper what I have in my head. Here, I will do a second stitching.
Mr. Russo lives in Milan, but he works each week at a factory here in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy. It's known for its orchards, Sangiovese wines, and the world's most famous named shoes. In the many factories that dot the landscape here, you'll find shoes and shoe parts for the likes of Christian Louboutin, Prada, Yves Saint Laurent, Ferragamo, Armani, Alexander McQueen, Church's, and Chanel. After Mr. Russo's sketch, the shoe takes shape on a last. A last is first carved from wood and later mass-produced from what look like giant boots made of solid polypropylene. Heels and platforms are created with the same techniques as car bodies, with technology and expensive machinery. Here at the Sergio Rossi factory, 1,000 pairs of heels a day are made with an array of machines that shoot screws as well as nails, mold footbeds with heat and glue, and slice or burnish leather into its final form. Skilled artisans use pliers to stretch leather onto the last, then hammer it in place with nails. Mr. Russo checks their work with a foot model, who also works on the factory line. She dons each prototype on her perfect size 37 feet. Shoes, it seems, are built, not sewn. They're more like homes than clothes.
You know, it's going to take a lot of money to buy those shoes, and maybe Harlan wasn't so wrong about that raise. And in fact, maybe we all deserve a little raise. Let me see what I can do here. Ooh, password protected. All right, well, I figured this out. Robert Frank, he always knows how to make more dough, and here he is on this week's Money Talks. Hugh Jackman. Nope. George Clooney. Nope. Justin Bieber. Oh yeah, I'm in.
When it comes to choosing a philanthropy, figuring out how are you going to give away your money, I think there are three basic principles that the wealthy should follow. Number one, most important, pick a cause that has some personal connection or meaning to you. You know, when you become wealthy, the first thing that happens is you are bombarded with phone calls and mail asking for money for terrific causes. I mean, there are very few causes in the world that are not worth funding. And so when I meet a lot of the wealthy, they say, you know, this cause looks great and this cause looks great, but ultimately they have to choose. And the ones who really stick with a cause, they find a cause that's meaningful to them. So it could be they want to help cure a disease that has impacted them or their family. It could be they've been to a certain country that they really connect with and they want to deal with the issues in that country. It could be education because they believe, you know, strongly in what education did for them and creating opportunities for others. Number two is something that they could be involved in. There's very little reward for either the charity or you when you just write a check and walk away. What charities really benefit from and what donors benefit from is a charity where you can help direct that money. Not necessarily tell the charity what to do, but say, from my experience with this particular problem, can we, for instance, look at this piece of medical research and focus on that? So find a charity that will take you in not just as a donor, but as a fellow guide in their own work. The third thing that's very important is you want some kind of measurement and accountability. There are some social problems that you just can't measure in terms of results. You know, did we really improve education in this community? But what's very rewarding for the wealthy is to find some measurements in their charity that they can rely on every year and say, you know what, my money is working. We are making progress, whether it's through medical research or building schools or whatever it is, but some kind of matrix that a donor can go to every year to see, you know, whether their money is in fact having an impact.
Man, this job is so easy. It's almost time to go. If only I could take my angry birds with me in the car. You know what? Kelli Grant, she's over at the Aldo Show. She's checking out new technologies. Maybe she can work something out.
So talk to me a little bit about some of the smartphone connectivity that's popping up right now.
You know, the technology has improved so immensely that we're seeing smartphone connectivity in pretty much all classes of vehicles. This was a technology that was reserved for some of the more higher priced vehicles, luxury vehicles that are priced at $30,000 or higher, but now you can get a $15,000 entry-level compact car and have all your life connected while you're driving. There are many, many different technologies that really does the same thing at the end of the day, which is basically allowing you to drive your car hands-free while talking on the phone. The whole argument about whether this is destructive or not being aside, this is the trend of the automotive industry, and we're seeing all manufacturers embracing the potential, especially to bring younger buyers into their showrooms by utilizing technology.
And you mentioned distracted driving. Are any of these systems better than others or have anything different going for them that really limits that distraction or the potential for it?
You know, you want as little interaction, hand interaction with the system. So the systems that are completely controllable and that are practical with purely voice are the ones that happen to be the ones that are the least distractive. That at least is the assumption. However, if you think about it, if you're having just a conversation with somebody in the car, you're having an argument with somebody in the car, let's just say, which is a common thing if you're a couple. The fact that you're having the conversation, your brain is engaged in the activity, is the main reason for the distraction. It isn't that your hands are necessarily occupied with something. So the jury is out whether these systems are necessarily making the driving better or enabling drivers to do activities that they will otherwise not be engaged in. So there are two camps, right? One is saying that people are going to do this anyway. They're going to text, they're going to check their Facebook, they're going to talk on the phone. So why not make it as safe as possible? And the other school of thought will say, well, you were driving. You should just be paying attention driving. If you need to talk to somebody and communicate, stop and do what you got to do and move on. We've somehow survived without having to text in our cars all our lives. The next few years it became a necessity. So I think the reality is somewhere in between. And I think what you're going to see is that the marketplace is going to be driven by consumers' needs. So even if there are some safety issues potentially involved in this, automakers cannot stand back and let the other competitors take the limelight in this race, because this is especially important for younger buyers. You know, the 20 to 30 somethings want connectivity, but now older buyers are used to this too. So it's one of those things where if you don't have the right connectivity tools in your car, you might actually have a competitive disadvantage.
It sounds like this is something that as a buyer that you want to be checking this and really testing it as part of your process before you buy the car.
Right, because there are a lot of systems that seem very complicated. There are other ones that seem very attractive from the outside, just the way they appear to consumers. But you know, all consumers have different levels of ability to use technology, and some of these systems are more intuitive than the others. So because now cars are becoming so technologically involved, it is a good idea to not only drive the car, but also drive the technology.
Wendy.
What?
Julie's back.
Well, that is it for today's WSJ Off Duty. I hope you will all click above to subscribe. Please join me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Wendy Bounds, not Julie, and I will see you back here tomorrow.